unlocking the forbidden power of the Rosicrucians. Have you ever dreamt of winning the lottery through psychic powers? Imagine the possibilities of having such incredible abilities at your fingertips. Psychic powers have always tickled humanity's imagination, captivating our minds with tales of extraordinary abilities that soar beyond the mundane drudgery of everyday life. Picture this: you're not just balancing your checkbook or remembering where you parked the car, but peering into the future, reading minds, or maybe even bending spoons with a mere thought. It sounds like a plot from your favorite sci-fi flick, right? But among these tantalizing powers, the dream of using psychic abilities to crack the lottery code remains the ultimate fantasy, like a cosmic cheat sheet to untold riches. Now, let's add a twist that would make even Indiana Jones sit up and take notes. Imagine if there were ancient secrets, long buried and whispered about in hushed tones, that could actually unlock these psychic abilities. Enter the Rosicrucians, a mystical order cloaked in enigma and intrigue, as elusive as trying to catch a moonbeam in a jar. These guys are the rock stars of the mystical world, rumored to possess knowledge that could make your third eye do a double take. The Rosicrucians, or as their full title goes, the ancient mystical order of the Rosy Cross, are said to have roots stretching back to ancient Egypt. They've been weaving their esoteric web through history, leaving behind tantalizing clues and cryptic symbols that would give Dan Brown a run for his money. Their lore is rich with tales of hidden wisdom, alchemical secrets, and, dare we say, psychic prowess. So, what if the key to winning the lottery wasn't a matter of sheer dumb luck or choosing numbers based on your cat's birthday, but a profound mystical insight guarded by this secretive order? Imagine you, in a dimly lit room filled with the scent of exotic incense, poring over ancient manuscripts that promise to unlock the hidden potential of the human mind. With the right knowledge, you might not just be buying a lottery ticket, you could be deciphering the universe's grand design, like a psychic code breaker. Of course, it's all very hush-hush. The Rosicrucians are like that cool underground club that only the initiated know about, and you won't find their secrets splashed across the cover of Winning the Lottery for Dummies. But for those who dare to delve deeper, who are willing to walk the path of mystical enlightenment, who knows what treasures, both psychic and otherwise, await. So, while the rest of us are fiddling with our lucky charms and last week's winning numbers, perhaps somewhere a Rosicrucian adept is smiling knowingly, holding a lottery ticket, and thinking, the secrets of the universe are worth more than a jackpot, but hey, a little extra cash doesn't hurt. Before we plunge headfirst into the mesmerizing realm of psychic abilities, let's hit pause and take a moment to grapple with the ethical and moral conundrums that accompany using these powers for personal gain. Sure, the thought of scoring big in the lottery thanks to a mystical sixth sense sounds like the ultimate jackpot. Who wouldn't want to predict the winning numbers and waltz off to easy street? But this tantalizing idea is fraught with significant questions that need some serious pondering. First off, let's ask the obvious: is it fair? Imagine your poor, unsuspecting neighbor who's been diligently picking numbers based on birthdays and anniversaries, only to lose out because you had a psychic peek into the future. It's like bringing a bazooka to a water balloon fight. Fairness, as it turns out, is a key player in the cosmic game of life, and tipping the scales with psychic powers might just be a bit, well, unsportsmanlike. Next up, we need to consider whether this aligns with the loftier principles that underpin psychic development. Psychic abilities are often thought to be gifts, meant for higher purposes, like helping others, providing guidance, or maybe even saving the world from the occasional impending doom. Using these gifts to pad your bank account could be seen as diverting from the noble path, like using a Stradivarius to play chopsticks in a dive bar. And then there's the slippery slope of moral compromise. Today it's the lottery, tomorrow, who knows? Insider trading? High-stakes poker? Predicting the next big crypto boom? The temptation to use these powers for material gain can easily snowball, leading you down a path where the line between right and wrong becomes increasingly blurry. It's a bit like Frodo and the One Ring: start using it for just a little harmless fun, and next thing you know, you're corrupting your soul and developing an unhealthy obsession with jewelry. In essence, the journey into psychic abilities is a powerful one, but with great power comes great responsibility. Thanks, Uncle Ben. So before you conjure up those winning numbers, take a moment to reflect on the ethical landscape and ensure your psychic endeavors stay on the straight and narrow, steering clear of moral pitfalls. Because in the grand scheme of things, the true value of these abilities lies not in the money they could bring, but in the wisdom, insight, and positive change they can inspire. The Rosicrucians, that famously enigmatic bunch steeped in esoteric traditions, have been the subject of intrigue and speculation for centuries. Picture them as the Hogwarts Alumni Association of the metaphysical world, whispering secrets of the universe while sipping their cosmic lattes. These mystics are said to possess profound metaphysical knowledge and psychic abilities that would make Professor X green with envy. They're all about spiritual enlightenment, the pursuit of higher wisdom, and unraveling the mysteries of existence, kind of like philosophy majors, but with better robes and cooler parties. Now, let's get to the juicy part. What do these sages of the spirit world say about using their formidable powers for materialistic gain? Well, hold on to your philosopher's stones, because the answer is a big, mystical nah. According to Rosicrucian teachings, the use of esoteric knowledge and psychic abilities for selfish, materialistic purposes is a one-way ticket to bad karma town. It's like using a Nobel Prize-winning physics brain to rig a carnival game. Sure, you might win a giant stuffed panda, but you've missed the point entirely. The Rosicrucians advocate for a life of service, personal growth, and the betterment of humanity. They believe that their powers and knowledge are gifts meant to aid in the spiritual evolution of themselves and others. Think of it as cosmic noblesse oblige. With great power comes great responsibility, but in this case, it's more about enlightenment than slinging webs around New York City. Using these abilities for personal gain is seen as a misuse of sacred wisdom, akin to using a priceless Stradivarius violin to swat flies. The Rosicrucians encourage their members to seek harmony, balance, and a deep connection with the divine, steering clear of the temptations of materialism like a monk at a Vegas buffet. So, in a nutshell, the Rosicrucians are like the wise old wizards of the spiritual realm, guarding their profound secrets and reminding us that true power lies not in wealth or possessions, but in the pursuit of higher knowledge and the service of all beings. And remember, using mystical powers to win the lottery is a no-go. Besides, who needs a new car when you're busy riding the astral plane? The enigmatic Rosicrucians, a mystical brotherhood shrouded in secrets and esoteric wisdom, have some intriguing insights on psychic abilities. They firmly believe that these gifts are not to be squandered on frivolous pursuits or selfish endeavors. Instead, psychic abilities are envisioned as powerful tools for personal and spiritual growth, helping others, and contributing to the greater good. Imagine having a magical Swiss Army knife of the mind, not for slicing through lottery tickets or prying open the vaults of material wealth, but for carving out a path to enlightenment and spiritual harmony. Now, let's get one thing straight. If you're dreaming of using your third eye to spot winning lottery numbers, you might need a reality check, or perhaps a visit to a psychic optometrist. The Rosicrucians warn that focusing on such material gains can lead to a slippery slope of spiritual corruption. It's like using a Stradivarius violin to play chopsticks, technically possible, but what a waste of potential. When psychic abilities are harnessed for altruistic purposes, they become catalysts for profound transformation. Picture yourself as a spiritual superhero, wielding these gifts to heal, inspire, and uplift those around you. Instead of being the mystical equivalent of a Vegas card counter, you're the sage on the mountaintop, guiding others with your inner wisdom and insights. By aiming higher and using psychic abilities for their intended purpose, you align with the greater cosmic order, much like a celestial dance choreographed by the universe itself. So, the next time you're tempted to ask the universe for next week's Powerball numbers, remember, true power lies not in what you can gain, but in what you can give and how you can grow. As the Rosicrucians would say, the real jackpot is spiritual enlightenment, and that, dear seeker, is priceless. Imagine for a moment that you've got psychic powers. Yes, real deal, mind-bending abilities. Suddenly, you're tempted to use them to win the lottery. I mean, why not? Instant wealth, here we come. But hold your horses, or, in this case, your psychic crystals. Misusing these extraordinary powers, especially for something as banal as hitting the jackpot, is like using a Lamborghini to deliver pizza. Sure, you'll get the job done, but you'll also probably mess up the gearbox and have a lot of explaining to do. Tapping into the mystical realm for cold, hard cash can seriously mess with the cosmic balance. It's like throwing a wrench into the delicate gears of the universe. The Rosicrucians, those wise old sages of mystic lore, have some pretty stern warnings about this. They believe that trying to amass material wealth through psychic shenanigans is a one-way ticket to the spiritual doldrums. Instead of riding high on the waves of enlightenment, you'll find yourself stuck in the muck of ethical quicksand. Picture this, you're on a path to becoming a spiritual Jedi, but one ill-advised lottery win later, and you're sliding towards the dark side. Your psychic powers, which once had the potential to bring wisdom and peace, are now tainted. They start to fizzle out like a bad Wi-Fi signal. No more channeling the divine, instead, you're dealing with spiritual spam. And let's be real, who wants that? Using your psychic gifts for greed can lead to more than just a loss of abilities. It can invite a host of negative consequences. Think spiritual emptiness, a soul-level ennui that no amount of money can fill. Karma, that ever-watchful cosmic accountant, doesn't take kindly to such breaches of the spiritual code. You might find yourself repaying that debt in ways you never imagined, and trust me, karmic interest rates are brutal. So, next time you think about using your psychic mojo to pick winning numbers, remember, it's not just about the money. It's about keeping the energy balance intact, maintaining your spiritual integrity, and avoiding a karmic kickback that could send your aura into a tailspin. Keep your psychic powers clean and use them for the greater good, because, in the grand scheme of things, a fulfilled spirit is worth more than any jackpot. In summary, while the idea of using psychic powers to win the lottery is undeniably enticing, who wouldn't want a little supernatural nudge to their bank account? It's essential to consider the ethical implications and potential consequences. Picture this, you've just psychically picked the winning numbers, your pockets are suddenly deeper than the Mariana Trench, and you're living large. But then, the Rosicrucian teachings tap you on the shoulder, reminding you that these abilities are sacred and should be used responsibly and ethically. It's like having a superpower. You wouldn't use your ability to fly just to cut the line at the grocery store, right? Misusing psychic powers for personal gain is like taking a beautiful Stradivarius violin and using it to stir a pot of soup. Sure, you get your soup stirred, but you've completely missed the point of having such a magnificent instrument. The Rosicrucians teach us that these abilities are meant for greater purposes, to uplift, heal, and inspire. Channeling them towards a fleeting material gain not only diminishes their true value, but also risks leading you into spiritual and moral pitfalls. Imagine the spiritual equivalent of stepping on a rake. Every quick fortune could be followed by a swift karmic smack to the face. So, while the dream of psychically winning the lottery might sparkle like a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow, remember, it's a rainbow, not a treasure map. The real treasure lies in using these sacred gifts to better the world, not just our wallets. After all, true wealth isn't measured in dollars and cents, but in the depth of our spiritual and ethical richness. And who knows? Maybe spreading good vibes and helping others will bring more joy and fulfillment than any lottery jackpot ever could. Reflecting on the ethical implications of using psychic powers is like contemplating the morality of using a cheat code in the game of life. Sure, you could gain a lot, but at what cost? Would you feel a pang of guilt knowing you cut corners? Or would you laugh maniacally as you pull off a flawless victory every time? Imagine waking up one day with the ability to read minds. Suddenly, you know that your boss secretly hates your new haircut, your best friend has a hidden stash of chocolate they didn't tell you about, and your neighbor's cat actually does think it's better than you. The temptation to use this information for personal gain would be immense. Who wouldn't want to ace every job interview or always know the right thing to say at parties? But then comes the big question, is it right? Using psychic powers for personal gain might seem like a fast track to material success. Picture yourself winning every lottery, predicting stock market crashes, or even just always finding a free parking spot. Sounds great, right? But is it really worth it if you have to compromise your integrity? Think about it, if everyone knew you had an unfair advantage, your achievements might start to look a little less impressive. People might question if you really earned your success or if you just had an otherworldly leg up. Balancing the allure of material success with higher principles of ethical and spiritual conduct is a classic struggle. It's like choosing between a delicious piece of cake and sticking to your diet. The cake is tempting, but deep down, you know it's not the best choice for your long-term health. Similarly, using psychic powers for personal gain might bring immediate rewards, but it could undermine your spiritual growth and ethical integrity. Instead of using your powers for selfish reasons, consider the potential for good. Imagine how you could help others by offering guidance, solving mysteries, or even just spreading a little positivity. Maybe you could use your abilities to find lost pets, help people make tough decisions, or just give really accurate weather forecasts. The possibilities are endless, and using your powers for good could bring a sense of fulfillment that material success never could. So, what do you think? Have you ever been tempted to use such abilities for personal gain? How do you balance the allure of material success with the higher principles of ethical and spiritual conduct? Let's discuss. Share your thoughts in the comments section below, and let's navigate this moral maze together. And remember, with great power comes great responsibility, and probably a few awkward conversations about how you knew what your friend was thinking about their ex.